Welcome, everybody, to this week's podcast episode for the Financial Freedom for Physicians podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Christopher Liu. And as you know, I talk about four different types of freedom: time, financial, location, health freedom. And in that light, I'm always interviewing entrepreneurs, marketers, people doing things on the cutting edge. So I would like to share these conversations with you and share it with the world. So today we have an online marketer. His name is Ahmaad Green from Atlanta, and he's going to talk to us all about the client attraction machine, getting clients without lead generation and attracting high ticket clients. So Ahmaad, welcome.
Hey, Chris. I was so excited to be on to chat with you today.
Um, yeah, I know we had met through Podmatch. Tell us more about yourself, how you got started, and your
hmm
company.
For sure. So I got started in the digital marketing realm. Long story short, in college, I actually started a business, a online Christian clothing line business, and it did not do very well. I was really excited to get in the online space and like do something where you could, create a little bit more of a passive income aside from like working the different part-time jobs that I was working as well. So I wanted to be able to, get out of college with no debt, different stuff and stuff like that. But as I was building out the company, what I realized was a bottleneck was that I was not able to get people to my website. I wasn't able to get traffic and get people's eyeballs, and like that was something like very hard to do at that moment. Well, hard for me to do just with my level of experience at the time. So I went down the path of trying to figure that out. That business eventually failed, but it put me on a trajectory to really get really involved with digital advertising and digital marketing, to where I started doing it for different companies, being able to in just one campaign with one company, being able to get them to have a return on ad spend of $10 million plus. I think the campaign ended around 30 million, but in 2 weeks' time, it was like a 3 month campaign. In 2 weeks' time, it was able to do 10 million plus dollars. I've cut my teeth within lead generation for different companies, optimizing return on ad spend and all of those things. So I've done pretty much the full gamut. And I'm excited to share that now with different people to be able to help them get and attract more clients more easily, instead of spending a lot of their time just spinning wheels and not actually getting a return inside of their business.
Okay. And what is this? Tell us, what is this client attraction machine? What is that?
Oh yeah, it's funny. I just literally was just this whole concept. I actually got this concept piece of it from actually perpetual motion devices. And what's interesting about that is by the law of thermodynamics, it actually can't exist, but it's so interesting how it parallels to how a business should run, at least. And you can at least get close to a perpetual motion device. It just needs to have some outside forces, right? And anyways, the client attraction machine is a way that we put together a system inside of our the businesses and my clients. We put that inside their business so that they can actually have their lead generation automated. They can start to automate their client fulfillment so that they can start getting more and more clients and start and actually getting more and more revenue in, fulfill those services and do that pretty well. And then actually just continue to grow the business. And it goes through that cycle from lead generation to lead conversion to client fulfillment, all of that stuff. And recently I was speaking with a friend and who's a potential client. He's probably going to come on very soon because he has a similar problem to where he had a business before the pandemic. He had about six or so clients. When the pandemic hit, all of his clients dropped at the same time. So now he has literally no business, right? No business because there's no clients. And he was like, and I was showing him and telling him that the reason why you want to be able to create a client attraction machine, to be able to create something where it's continuously generating appointments and generating the people who are interested in your service, is because something like that can happen where your clients can just go at a moment's notice and you don't have a new blood, new clients coming back in through your business.
Yeah, very important to diversify your income streams. And what do you use? Are you use social media? Are you using ads? Tell us more about that.
For sure. So yeah, we're using ads as my specialty. So we use ads. It also depends on where they are too, inside of the business. Sometimes they're not in the they're in the validation phase, so we need to go ahead and validate the offer first before we turn the ads on. We do that primarily with a great sales funnel and great ads, and being able to be very direct inside of our ads to be able to get them to actually book a call. We do, and one of the things that I try to teach people too is to limit the amount of choices and decisions people have to make inside of your ad, inside of your sales funnel, so that it makes it really easy for people to actually click on your ad, book a call, hop on the call with you, and close.
And then when you talk about this idea of getting clients without lead generation, what do you mean by that? And tell us, you don't have to spill the secret sauce, but a little bit of big picture overview.
Well, I'll give you the secret sauce. How about this? I am fine with giving out the secret sauce because the other piece of the secret sauce is you got to execute. And you got to execute well. So I'll give you the strategy, but people usually come to me and just, hey, how do I execute this whole system? So what we do is put together a really good ad. When they click on the ad, they go to a landing page. That landing page has a VSL and really great copy that gets people to do one thing and one thing only. We want them to click a button so they can go to the next page, which is a calendar page where they book a call with us. Then on that next page from there, they get a thank you page where we just thank them for being able to hop on a call with us and get them prepared for that call. And that's very simple. It's so funny how it's simple, but how it really dramatically increased the conversion rate inside of the business. Like before, because I was having such a hard time doing lead generation for myself, just because you have your own money, you have to create your own brand, you have to do all that different stuff. But what I also found out was when I switched it to take out all the different layers, that I was all right. They have to become a lead. Now they have to click on this email. Now they got to do this. Now they got to do that. If I just simplify it, cut out all the fluff, and I get them right to exactly where I want them to get to, which is the sales opportunity, the sales call, then all right, let's do that. So it's funny that I thought before that like having this real complicated funnel was going to be, very good, but it was that when I actually simplified it and made it very simple for people to actually do the action, they did it at such a higher clip. Like it was campaigns I was running for time and time and time again, and I would barely get like more than like 10, 20 leads. I stripped that down, created that funnel, and we literally went from a like below 1% like conversion rate to 20% conversion rate for people booking a call. And then the next thing from there was like that was just phenomenal. And then now it was a struggle to get 200 leads. Now we were able to get 200 leads in a week. And the other thing too, matter of fact, I'll give you some extra sauce, is that from there, give you a quick little bonus too. If you're not at the point where you need to do like different ads and stuff like that, watch what other people do. Watch what some of the successful people do. A lot of them build up their audience and build up their presence online, not by creating their own audience, but by borrowing other people's audience. So what does that mean? That means I hop on other people's podcasts. I do webinars for other people, and I get in front of their audience and an adjacent audience and to let them know that I have something to offer for them. The next thing you know, I'm also building up my audience without extra funds to throw into it, just like ads as well. So
interesting. Yeah, it's quite interesting, especially with social and content capital influence. It's quite interesting how creative you can get.
Yeah, for sure.
What about attracting high ticket clients? What are your thoughts on that and some of your strategies and work on
For
that?
sure. For sure, it's the same. It's the same process that we take people through to get those high ticket clients, but the mindset shift has to be different. And you definitely want to have a higher ticket offer if you're going to do this system. The reason being is because you don't want to do it for something that costs like below high ticket, because then it's just kind of a waste of your time, honestly. But doing it this way actually helps you build up that bigger portfolio of having more high ticket clients in your business. And also too, it gives you that opportunity to put a face to the brand and also build that trust on a sales call with somebody. The strategies I would say from there is, especially if you're on sales calls, do less of the talking. Do about 20 to 10% of the talking. Let your potential client do about 80 to 90%. So that means asking great questions. And I got skilled in sales on accident, actually. In college, I wanted to work at the shoe store. I thought it was cool. I was getting into sneakers at the time. So I was like, yeah, this will be cool. Get a nice little discount. But I was a sales associate on the ground. And I became like one of the top salespeople inside of that store, inside of the mall. And it was not because I was trying to sell people stuff, which is so well in the natural sense of what everybody thinks selling to be. Like, oh, you gotta get this, you gotta get it. It was like, hey, what's going on? How you doing? It's like asking people questions, building a relationship, actually figuring out what do they want. Like, do you even want anything? And I would build rapport with people, and they would come back and purchase, or they would always come back and say, hey, is Ahmaad working? And I didn't work the greatest hours. Like one of the best hours to work in a shoe store is on Saturday when the Jordans come out. I didn't even work on those days, but I was one of the top salespeople. But it's because I built good relationships with people.
That's quite interesting. How very fascinating discussion. Can people follow you? I know you're on social media. How can they visit your website and contact you?
Mm-hmm. Well, a good way to contact me right now is actually you can text BAG to 470. Once again, you can text BAG to 470. I would love to get into contact with anybody who will want to put together a client attraction machine in their business. And then we could take you through our BAG game plan framework, where we could get you up to and beyond 100K plus a month inside of your business.
Yeah. And for all the listeners out there, Ahmaad's resources will be in the links and show notes. Thanks so much for coming on. It's been a really interesting discussion, like just the mindsets and kind of like getting into the mindset of a digital marketer. So thanks so much for coming on to the show.
No problem. Thank you.